Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? It's your boy, Richie, and today we are previewing the preseason for these New York Knicks. Let's go! Preseason action starts this Tuesday. Oh, man. Oh, this Monday, rather. October 9th against the Boston Celtics. In this live stream, I want to give you guys my thoughts of the New York Knicks roster, some projected lineups in the starters, some projected lineups off the bench, and the overall roster breakdown because there are some storylines to look out for heading into the season for the New York Knicks, and I am super excited to be back making content here on Knicks Media. Expect a lot of consistency and a lot of brand new style of content here on Knicks Media. If you are new to the channel, my name is Richie, and I do cover the Knicks here on Knicks Media. I also am a YouTuber for the New York Jets, and that has been my focus these past few months since the NFL season has been started for the past, 5 weeks now. But with the NBA season starting, I am back on Knicks Media, and we're going to be going live consistently and making some consistent video content here on the channel. So again, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit that thumbs up button on your way into the show. I'm really excited to break down these Knicks, man. Last week was media day. We had all the players report, talk to the media. We heard from Jalen Brunson. First time hearing from Dante DiVincenzo. We see a new haircut from Julius Randle. We got a lot of stuff to break down in today's live show. So without further ado, let's get straight into business. Kelvin's in the chat. Yo, Richie, what's up, my guy? Kelvin, it's good to see your face, my man. I hope all is well with you, Kelvin. Really missed you, my man. So hope all is well with you, of course. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know in the chat. Love to get really into business and into talking with you guys in the chat as always. Now, the first topic I want to get into in terms of what I'm looking forward to the most in the preseason is kind of how this team really gels in terms of their chemistry. And I know preseason doesn't really matter in terms of the starters and off the bench. It's more for the players who's going to make the roster, who's going to be on the 15-day roster, 15-man roster, who's going to be the two-way players. And I think that's something we're going to see as the progression of the preseason unfolds. But my favorite part about this Knicks season heading in, folks, is definitely the word continuity. Now, I think the word continuity is something we all are going to be saying a lot heading into this season for these Knicks for the sole reason of we're pretty much the same exact team as last year, minus Obi Toppin, and you add in Dante DiVincenzo. You also minus Derrick Rose, of course. But, folks, this Knicks team is coming off a damn good year last year. This Knicks team is coming off going to the second round, being this close from the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think there's one player that has become the face of the Knicks that is getting me the most excited, and that simply is Jalen Brunson. Now, I do want to make a whole video dedicated to Jalen Brunson because I feel like Knicks fans, I don't think we realize the type of player Jalen Brunson actually is going to be this season, because if you go back into last year with Jalen Brunson and these New York Knicks, he got better as the season went on. And I don't think we realize what he did in the playoffs was nothing short of phenomenal. I mean, that man was looking like not only just a star, but a potential superstar. And what is the definition of a superstar? In my opinion, it's a player that could put the team on his back, be efficient, be a leader, and go out there and make the clutch plays time after time again. And that's exactly what Jalen Brunson showed last year. And we have not had a point guard, it feels like, forever. And Knicks fans, we finally have one. Jalen Brunson was here with the Knicks for the first time last year, and now he has a whole year underneath his belt. And you add in Dante DiVincenzo, you add in Josh Hart, who we got at the trade deadline. He's extended. We got the Villanova boys. So that's going to be a really exciting thing. Now, let's get straight into my projected starting five for these New York Knicks. Now, this is what I'm projecting it to be for the Knicks heading into the first game in the preseason. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section or in the live chat if you agree or disagree with this starting five rotation. Now, I definitely feel like there are some players you can argue. Does Josh Hart deserve to be in the starting lineup? Emmanuel Quickley deserve to be in the starting lineup, right? So it definitely is a debate, and I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts of this in the comment section right now or in the live chat, whichever you're watching on a replay or live. But starting off, Jalen Brunson, he's the easy starter at the 1. Quentin Grimes at the 2, man. I really like Quentin Grimes. I think he's a big X factor for me heading into this season. Entering to year number 3, I think he is going to elevate his game to another level. We saw a lot of growth from Quentin Grimes last year. his ability to put the ball on the floor, not just be that 3-and-D type of player, but also be a guy that can actually make plays. I mean, the amount of times that Quentin Grimes drives to the paint and dishes it down low to Mitchell Robinson with a sick dime was really fun to watch. And not only that, when the defender went to Mitchell Robinson and he had an open lane to the cup, we saw Quentin Grimes finish at the rim, whether it was a dunk, an acrobatic layup. So I really feel like Quentin Grimes' development with these Knicks have been to become a 3-level scorer and not just be a 3-and-D player. And I think when we drafted him in the first round 3 years ago, that's what we were all excited about. Oh, we got a 3-and-D type of player, someone that's lights out from downtown and can play defense. I don't think that's what Quentin Grimes is only able to do, folks. I think that Quentin Grimes could be the X factor of this entire team, because if he takes that step into being a very good player to really open up this offense and more importantly on defense, that's going to be game-changing. Now, Quentin Grimes is probably, you can argue, the best player for the Knicks on defense in the perimeter. He's going to be guarding the best players on the opposing team. We saw him go up against Jimmy Butler in the playoffs when Jimmy Butler Quentin Grimes hurt his knee. He gets up, he strips Jimmy Butler. Oh my gosh, that was his game. That was his moment in Quentin Grimes' career with these New York Knicks in year number 2. So I'm really excited about Quentin Grimes, folks. I think that Knicks fans are going to see a different and improved and expanded role from Quentin Grimes. Now, R.J. Barrett, he's the easy starter at the 3, at the wing spot. Now, R.J. Barrett, he's an interesting candidate. Now, if you guys have been watching Knicks media since I started, you guys know I'm a big R.J. Barrett believer, and I think that his biggest thing throughout his entire career since he entered the NBA, it's been simple. It's been consistency. It's been hot and cold stretches, but can he just get rid of those ice-cold stretches and string together hot streaks time in and time after again? Because when R.J. Barrett is hot, he is freaking scorching, folks. And I think that the one thing I love about R.J. Barrett is he definitely shows the ability to be a clutch player in the fourth quarter, which is really my biggest takeaway from R.J. Barrett. And not only that, I know that he's with the starting 5, but you know that Tom Thibodeau loves to run a 9-man rotation, and we're going to get deeper into that. But I think that R.J. Barrett, my favorite part of his game is probably when he plays with the bench, right? He's usually the first player to the bench in the first quarter, and then he comes back on the court in the beginning of the second quarter with the bench unit. And we're going to break down the bench unit, but I think R.J. Barrett, heading into this season with these New York Knicks, he needs to show his consistency, because he can be an efficient 20-plus per game scorer if he can just really find his spots, let Jalen Brunson find him, hit his shots from downtown when he's open. I mean, we saw what he did in the Olympics with Canada. I thought that was very impressive with R.J. Barrett, but overall, I'm expecting a lot of great things from R.J. Barrett if he can elevate his game. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Dark saying, "What's up, Richie? How you been?" I've been great, my man. Good to see you again. Richie is back. You know it. I am back covering these New York Knicks. Let's freaking get it, baby. Now, getting into the 4 spot, Julius Randle. Okay, now Julius Randle, hey, I'll say this. I'm expecting great things from him in the regular season, but the question always is going to be, what are you going to do when we need you the most, Julius Randle? So, Julius Randle at the 4. Listen, he's entering his 10th year in the NBA, and the Knicks are obviously very high on Julius Randle. They move off of Obi Toppin. They keep Julius Randle. We have Isaiah Roby as the only technical backup behind him. I think the Knicks are going to run with like a small lineup with either Josh Hart or R.J. Barrett at the 4 off the bench. But overall, man, Julius Randle's coming off another spectacular season for the Knicks in the regular season, and Knicks fans expect greatness from him. But the question's always going to be, what are you going to do when the pressure gets to its highest? And that's when he's kind of plummeted. So this season for the Knicks, if Julius Randle can really just understand this is kind of Jalen Brunson's team, I'll be that number 2 option, and I'll go get my buckets. I'll be a bruiser down low, crash the rebounds, play with high energy and high effort, and just be a great teammate and a leader that he is. That's all you can ask from Julius Randle with this Knicks team. And then, of course, the man that puts it all together defensively, the anchor, Mitchell Robinson. Now, I love that this team is literally like the same as last year, personally. I think that it's kind of fun to watch this Knicks team grow together because the chemistry is going to be off the charts, folks. And when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, he's coming off a pretty darn good season last year for these New York Knicks. I think his ability to be, healthy is the most important, obviously. But my favorite thing about Mitchell Robinson is his ability to crash the offensive glass. His ability to change games is ridiculous when it comes to offensive rebounds, second chance points, whether it's a putback of his own or getting an offensive rebound and dishing it back out, or just being an absolute ferocious monster and just going out there, high flying, alley-oops, standing dunks. And I think that the Knicks got to really utilize Mitchell Robinson as a weapon instead of just being that guy that's just like camping down low and the ball goes his way, it goes his way. Like, let's feature Mitchell Robinson a little more on the offense this season. And of course, defensively, he is the anchor. He is going to average around 1 to 2 blocks per game easily. And I think that you can argue, like I said, to start off the Mitchell Robinson breakdown, he's one of, if not the best, offensive rebounders in the entire NBA. He showed it last year, and I think that is a big-time weapon that the Knicks are excited to have Mitchell Robinson locked up long-term. Julius Randle has to change his vibe. If Obi becomes an all-star, I will go crazy. Obi Toppin is going to go crazy for the Pacers, and don't let that get to us, folks. The reason why is because he's getting an opportunity. So far, I mean, I could be wrong. It's early in training camp, but Julius Randle already seems a little different. His vibe seems very different than last year, and that's probably the biggest thing that Knicks fans are looking after with Julius Randle: his energy, his mentality, his leadership. Because we know he can ball, but can you ball when the pressure's at its highest? That's what it comes down to. RTB Reese, what's up, Richie? What's up, bro? Good to see you in the chat, man. Obi will get more touches on Pacers, but it doesn't solve his defensive issues. Yeah, he's going to get his touches with Halliburton, the boys, but who knows what he will turn into over there. I think he's going to do a great job, low-key. Now, let's get into the projected bench 5. Now, this is the bench that I have projected right here. Now, I think we can all agree that Tom Thibodeau's not running a 10-man rotation. He hasn't since he's been here. So I don't expect all 5 of these guys to get minutes right out of the gate. So if there was an odd man out, I have to say Isaiah Roby. But Emmanuel quickly at the 1, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, and Isaiah Hartenstein is probably going to be the bench off the 5. And then other players that I did not bring up is Deuce McBride, is Jericho Sims. Those are going to be kind of situational role players when they plug in. If there's an injury or maybe the Knicks need a really big defensive anchor on the perimeter, that's when you plug in Miles McBride. And then another guy, Evan Fournier, of course. We heard from Evan Fournier today, and he's like, hey, I can effing play. So Evan Fournier is still on this team, and who knows if he'll scratch the rotation or not. But this is the bench, and bro, I'm really excited about this bench. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo, we don't know what to expect, right? But with the Warriors and the Bucks, I mean, he was really good. And not only that, man, what did Josh Hart bring to this team when we got him at the trade deadline? So much. You want to talk about a player that's similar to Josh Hart? It's Dante DiVincenzo, but he brings an absolute sharpshooting ability from beyond the arc. And I think that's what the Knicks missed a lot last year, is that sharpshooter off the bench next to Emmanuel quickly. Because if you guys remember, IQ wasn't really the sharpshooter we remembered him to be last year. He was more of that guy to be a facilitator, put the ball on the floor, attack the paint, the floaters. He would get hot and hit his shots from downtown, but he didn't really become that sharp shooter that he was when he first came in as a rookie. And I'm hopeful that IQ can really bounce back and do that. But going back to Dante DiVincenzo, man, the culture piece that he is, I think this could be the moving the needle for this Knicks roster. The chemistry, the Knicks are going to have to get him on the same time with Jalen Brunson on the floor, 110%, and Josh Hart. But I'm really excited to see what he does in a Knicks uniform. Now, getting into the backup 4. Now, I want to get your guys' thoughts of this because this is interesting. Isaiah Roby is technically the backup power forward in replacement of Obi Toppin. But, I don't really know if the Knicks are going to be having Isaiah Roby in the rotation starting off the season. I think that it's going to be off the bench, IQ, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein, and RJ Barrett with the bench unit. I think that's going to be the backup role in that 9-man rotation. Maybe he tightens it up to an 8-man rotation, but I don't see that because this Knicks team is really deep, and they got to get minutes for these folks. So that's kind of my thoughts of the bench unit. Now, let's just hone in on Isaiah Hartenstein real quick, because in his first season with the Knicks, he was really impressive for me. His hustle ability, his also ability to crash the boards offensively and defensively, his passing, his overall energy was really impactful for this team. And I feel like Knicks fans started to fall in love with Hartenstein the more we saw him go out there and get more minutes with these New York Knicks. Ryba 090983 says, Richie, my man, what's up, man? Good to be back talking some Knicks with you folks. Expect a lot of Knicks media content coming your way, folks. The season's here. And I told you I'd be back. I know some people are like, oh, where the hell's Richie? I'm here. I'm here. Folks, if you're enjoying the show, guys, it would mean a lot to me if you can simply hit that like button on your way into the show, guys. Really trying to get Knicks Media back on the algorithm, back out there into the YouTube world, because it's been a little bit since I have been making content here on Knicks Media, and man, it feels good. I love you too, bro. Good to see you in the chat, man. Good to see you in the chat. I love Josh Hart. He's amazing. Him and Dante are going to be amazing together. I know it. The chemistry is going to be off the charts. The chemistry is going to be off the charts for not only Josh Hart and Dante, but you can't forget about Jalen Brunson, because they all went to school together, and I think that the Knicks got to get all of them on the court at the same time. Got to stay hydrated, folks. Come on now. Nah, man, but that's really my thoughts of the bench unit, man. I'm headed to my mate's house to watch the game, and he's a Celtics fan. Ooh. Man, these Boston Celtics. We open up against them in the preseason, and then we open up against them in the regular season. I feel like every year we're always opening up at home against Boston. Do you guys feel like that? Still think we need a power forward. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't look at Isaiah Roby and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a great backup. I mean, I know he has upside, but, like, I don't know. The Knicks move on from Obi Toppin. They did not get a backup power forward that really moves the needle for me. Let's hope that Julius Randle can really just... I mean, I also don't want to rely on Randle to play, like, 38 minutes a game, you know? Like, I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts of the Knicks' approach to the backup power forward position in the offseason? Because you trade away Obi Toppin. He needs an expansive role. And then you bring in Isaiah Roby. I mean... I know that we have Jacob Toppin, which I should definitely bring up. We have the younger brother of Obi and Jacob Toppin from Kentucky. But, like, I'm not expecting Jacob Toppin to get any minutes this year. Randall shouldn't play as many minutes as he has done before. I agree, but then you look at the backup power forward spot and you're thinking to yourself, wait. Unless they just go really small ball and just roll out there with IQ, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, RJ Barrett, and Hartenstein, and then you just run that four. I mean, I kind of like that small lineup, though. If we're being honest, man, I like it. Roby not getting minutes, let's be honest, they're going to run a 9-man. Yeah, and that's exactly what I said. I said that right off the top with the projected bench 5. I said, just because I have the bench 5 does not mean all 5 of these guys are playing. Thibodeau is going to run a 9-man rotation. Everybody knows that, but we had to roll with 5 players off the bench in terms of who are the top 10 guys to look out for, and I completely agree. The Knicks are not going to roll with Roby getting any minutes, in my opinion. It's going to be a 9-man rotation. Traded Obi for what? Explain, please. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know, man. I think the reality of it was kind of one of those moves that kind of was like beneficial for both parties. You can assume that Obi was frustrated, right? He was a professional, but he was drafted here to the Knicks as the 8th overall pick and did not get the opportunity once to be the guy because Julius Randle was here. And even when the Knicks drafted Obi, they didn't expect Julius to become an all-NBA player, all-star that he became. And I know Randall's up and down, and I'm not going to get deeper into that, but the reality is Obi never got a chance to thrive. And I think Obi was frustrated, and the Knicks understood his frustrations, and they both agreed, like, okay, it'll be best for both parties to move on and go elsewhere. Maybe the Knicks like small ball. Maybe the Knicks feel like, you know what? Running a lineup with IQ, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, RJ Barrett off the bench, we might sign a power forward or trade for one, but I don't think we will. Speaking of that, guys, and I know I don't want to sound like hype this up because we've all been waiting for this moment for years at this point, but the Knicks have positioned themselves to make a splash in the trade market for quite some time. We have so many draft picks still, and we have so many tradable contracts, it's kind of ridiculous. So expect the Knicks to be aggressive to trade for someone at the deadline. If not this deadline or next offseason, I don't want to keep kicking the can down the road. So, yeah, the Knicks Leon Rose has done a great job of building this team and getting ready to make a move for a big splash player. And you can argue this Knicks team is a wing away from being a championship contender. I really do think they are. And I don't want to sound like I'm crazy, but hey, we were this close for making the Eastern Conference Finals with this exact team minus Obi Toppin. And so that's my thoughts. But let me know your guys' thoughts. What's your overall perception heading into the preseason for these Knicks, man? Do you expect them to go out there and what seed are you projecting? I think a 5 seed, 4 seed, dare I say 3 seed. Like, my biggest reason why I'm very optimistic for this Knicks squad, it's Jalen Brunson. I mean, that guy was off the charts last season. Like, he started off the season like, damn, okay, Jalen's nice. We were all like, damn, Jalen's nice as our point guard. He's good. And then all of a sudden, you get into January, the man's averaging 28 per game. 28 on a 55% shooting clip. Like 40-something, 42, 43% from three. Like, there was a large sample size of Jalen Brunson averaging well over 28 a game. 28? What are we talking about? Like, I think we have a star on the roster that is ready to go crazy to help propel this Knicks team to heights that we've been waiting for a long time. Now, is it a championship contender team? I can't say that. I think we are a wing away, and who that wing is, I don't know. But the reality is, the roster that we have now, mixing Jalen Brunson with the all-star and all-NBA player of a Julius Randle, who's going to give you 24, 10, and 5 on an efficient shooting potentially, with an RJ Barrett, who will be the third leading scorer, again, averaging probably 20-plus points per game. You have Quentin Grimes, who's ready to take that leap in year number 3, who is that defensive anchor on the perimeter. And you got Mitchell Robinson, holding it all together down low. And then you go into the bench, man. Dante DiVincenzo is that sharpshooter this Knicks team has been missing off the bench, paired up with Emmanuel Quickley. And IQ is an interesting player because I want IQ extended. Now, let me know your guys' thoughts, because if I'm the Knicks, man, I'm extending IQ. I don't know why they haven't yet. I know that, like, I might be getting a little over the top because they are extending everybody, right? They extended RJ Barrett. They extended Julius Randle. They extended Mitchell Robinson. I mean, they extended Josh Hart, right? So the Knicks are trying to keep this team all together. And the last thing I want to see is IQ to go out there, ball out, and he's a restricted free agent, and we lose him in free agency, unless the Knicks actually believe they have a chance to go after a star, because if you want to trade for a superstar, well, you're going to have to trade a guy like Emmanuel Quickley. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But at the end of the day, man, I think that the Knicks roster on paper is ready to be a contender in the Eastern Conference. Like, you look around the East, the Milwaukee Bucks just got a lot better with the addition of Damian Lillard. The Boston Celtics, you add Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis over there, and they got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown still, so they're going to be a threat, of course. The Philadelphia 76ers, I mean, they're kind of, I don't want to call them a mess, but, like, I don't know. They don't threaten me. I mean, Joel Embiid and Harden's still there, and, like, you know, they got a really good, talented roster. And, of course, the Miami Heat, they were the 8th seed that went all the way to the, I mean, they made a run last year. So, listen, I look at this Eastern Conference, and the Knicks are up there, okay? They are up there with all the better teams. The Cleveland Cavaliers, give me the Cleveland Cavaliers again. We'll wash them. We'll wash them all over again. IQ needs extending 100%, man. We'll make those top teams work for their points. Yeah, I really think this Knicks team can, like, have a home court advantage in round 1 again this year. I know last year they were the 5 seed, but, like, and 3 years ago, which is wild, that was 3 years ago, they were the 4 seed, right? We were the 4 seed with Tibbs in his first year. We missed the playoffs in the next year, and then we were the 5 seed in year 3, and now in year 4, here we are. So, listen, when this Knicks team clicks, they click. They really do click. Now, let's get into Tom Thibodeau. Now, Tommy Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau is interesting because I think Knicks fans are growing to, like, be frustrated with him. And they're like, are the Knicks just ever going to move on from him? Are they going to go and get a new innovative coach? Are they going to get someone that's young and fresh? Are they going to elevate Johnny Bryant to be the guy? At the end of the day, man, Tom Thibodeau, this is it. Like, you're going to year 4. You establish your culture. You establish your standard as the New York Knicks head coach. We know you're a defensive-minded guy. And dare I remind you folks that the offense really evolved this season, past season, with Tom Thibodeau. They were shooting more threes at a higher volume, which resulted in the offensive numbers to be inflated. And I think Tom Thibodeau deserves some credit there. And I know the big gripe of him is the stubbornness, is the rotations, the tightness of the rotations. It was the Obi Toppin issue last year. But this is it for Tom Thibodeau, man. If he does not bring this team at least to the second round again and not excel into the Eastern Conference Finals, then I don't know what they're going to do at the head coach spot, because he is actually due for a contract extension. So the Knicks are either going to have to make a decision after this year to extend Tom Thibodeau or just let the contract run out and move on from him, maybe elevate Johnny Bryant. I don't know. Best case scenario is Tom Thibodeau helps this Knicks team go far this year, and then the Knicks all go out there and, I mean, that's what we all want to see, folks. That's what we all want to see, right? Guys, we have 13 likes. Let's get those like buttons ran up a little bit more, folks. If you're enjoying the show here on Knicks Media, please make sure to hit that like button, folks. As you guys know, I've been a little, I have not been making consistent Knicks content, but that is, again, because I do cover the Jets as well. But don't you guys worry. The plan has always been go right back into Knicks Media right before the season starts, and then we kick things off, and then we launch, baby. All throughout the season, we're going to be live. We're going to be doing pre-recorded videos. We're going to have special guests come on. We're going to have a lot of fun here on Knicks Media, folks. So I really am excited to be back making content with you folks. It's been a long time coming, man. It is such a great thing to just see the Knicks back, seeing Dante DiVincenzo with the Knicks for the first time, seeing them all rock the Knicks uniforms, talking with the media, dancing, having a good time. Like, not only is this Knicks team talented, but I think they're fun. I think we got a fun roster. Like, the personalities really mesh well together. And I know that doesn't really move the needle for some. But for me, having a fun roster with a lot of uplifting personalities, you could just tell there's a lot of joy in the locker room. You can tell that they genuinely have fun within each other. And that, the closer teams are, the better they play on the court. It translates. And that's a good, positive sign. So definitely keep in mind that this Knicks team, they're ready to go. Kelvin says, please go hit the like button. Thank you, Kelvin. Go remind the people. Remind the people, baby. Hit the like button. Thoughts on Zach Wilson. I'm not going to talk about the Jets here. If you want to get my thoughts of Zach Wilson, I talk about him every day on Jets Media on my other YouTube channel. But I'm not going to talk about the Jets here. Let's freaking get it, man. Man, it's so crazy to think about the Knicks playoff run last year. It really, really is. Like, going into the season last year to where they elevated their game to was really, really a special time last year. And it's exciting because I really genuinely believe that this season is going to be even better for this Knicks squad. I mean, am I getting over the top here? Am I projecting too much? I don't think so. Do you guys think so? I'm expecting good things, man. So, folks, we're going to wrap up the show here, guys. Just want to go live for a half hour, interact with you guys in the chat. Feels good to be back making some Knicks videos. We went over the Knicks projected starting lineup. We went over the Knicks projected bench five, and this is what I'm expecting to be the starting five for these Knicks on Monday night against the Boston Celtics. William comes in. Hello, Richie. What's up, William? We back making some Knicks videos, man. It feels great. It feels great. Welcome back to the show, William. Appreciate you tuning in, man. So again, guys, hit that like button if you did not already. Would greatly, greatly appreciate that. Your boy will be making consistent content for the Knicks all season long. And make sure you guys go follow me over there on the socials. And I greatly, greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in as always. Kelvin says, I think we're going to be great. Me too, man. Bucks and Celtics may be better players, but we have more health. Never know what injuries happen. And we have a lot of depth. Like, we are prepared for injuries. I don't want to wish injuries on this team, obviously, but I think this Knicks team has a lot of depth where, like, even the players that are not in the starting 10 rotation, even though we're going to do a 9-man rotation, it's deep. That is exciting. Very, very exciting. So, again, folks, we're going to wrap up the show here. Don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. The first game of the preseason is October 9th against the Boston Celtics this Monday. So expect content after that game, the recap there. I'm really excited to be back making some videos with you guys. Kelvin, as always, let's go Knicks. Shout out to everybody tuning in live in the chat. Shout out to anybody that watched this on the replay. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. And that's going to wrap up this show, guys. We will catch you next time. Monday is game day. The Knicks are back, baby. Training camp is upon us. Preseason is here. I cannot wait to keep going. Let's go, Knicks. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out And as always, let's go Knicks. Go New York, go New York, go. Peace out.